When was the last time someone told you that you are more than you think you are, and that you should believe it? And all the answers lie right here within. Well, I am delighted to bring to you my friend, my colleague, somebody who I've admired for so long, Kimberly Snyder, as she talks about her book, exactly titled that, You Are More Than You Think You Are, and what it takes for all of us to break our blocks, find our destiny, and stay superpowered. Check it out.
The teachings in here, which are so practical, the subtitle is Practical Enlightenment for Everyday Life.
Yeah.
It's what we do on a daily basis, these practices, these teachings that we start to implement 5 minutes in the morning, 90 seconds in the middle of the day, to keep tuning our attention back in to our energy, to what the yogis call the true self, to our power, to all the time we're looking out here with the five senses, which is what yoga calls the ego. So the problem is if we over identify with what we see as who we are in the mirror, what we look like, or just what we're doing and what we're creating, our happiness and our joy and our peace become very difficult to find because everything's moving. So in the Sanskrit word is pratyahara. It's one of the yogic limbs, is to pull the energy back in to this place that's a stable resource inside of us of creativity, peace. It's the part of us that witnesses things and doesn't get caught up in all the drama. And it's from here that we create vitality and our best ideas and abundance.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. But I also love this because I have that too, like the book I really want to write, but it's not yet
Yes.
time to write that book, So I love that story too, because this idea of things sometimes have to bloom over the right
Yes.
course of time to be presented, to wherever they need to go. So this book sounds like your passion project. And what sort of is the motivation to put it out there right now? Why now versus next year or a couple years ago? Why do you think the timing of this book is critical?
Well, so I didn't have a choice, Dr. Taz. What happened
Okay,
was
that's honest. All right,
this
there we go.
this book came down, and this is one of the things that I'd love to share about. But first of all, I'll just say the book came down like lightning when I was 34 weeks pregnant with Moses, with my second child, and I didn't know what to do because I was at a point where I was trying to slow down. But it was so clear, Dr. Taz, when you get this inspiration from inside of you.
Yep.
So I actually reached out to Deepak and I was like, what do I do? Here's my idea. And he's like, oh, this book belongs with Hay House. We had been with Random House since the book Deepak and I did together. But anyways, then he put me in touch with Reed Tracy, who's the president there. And he said, well, what's your book about? And I told him. And then he said, okay. So next thing I know is presenting it over Zoom. I wrote one sample chapter. And then I think 3 days before I gave birth, I signed my book deal.
Oh my gosh, I
I
love
started
that.
reading it, started writing it 60 days later. So
Uh-huh.
to answer your question, there is so the book is structured in three parts. Again, it's very practical. Excuse me. The first part is how we get past the biggest blocks in our life.
Mm.
And the first chapter is on fearlessness, because Paramahansa Yogananda says of 26 qualities that we need to develop as humans to reach our fullest potential, fearlessness is number one.
Oh,
So if we're
wow.
blocked by fear, we don't even get on the path. We don't even think about writing that book we want to write, Dr. Taz. We're too worried about what other people think or if we're not good enough, right? So it's the biggest blocks. Wholeness, stop identifying with our behaviors and really go into this stable part of us underneath. Stop carrying around all the guilt and shame. So wholeness, fearlessness, this is part one. Part two is where we embody more of the qualities of the true self. So beyond the ego, this formless part of us, you can call it our, unique gravitational blueprint in quantum physics terms, or the soul or spirit individualized. Here's about this part two is about peace and intuition. And then part three, once we embody more of this inner connection through these practices, then we can create our best stuff. So the longest chapter in the book, Dr. Taz, is called You Are a Creator. So it's exercises for how do we pull our unique talents into form? How do we create our best stuff, our best website, our best book, our best fashion idea, our best whatever social media platform? So there are teachings of how to do that. But you can see it's sequential. So for me in previous books, Dr. Taz, and I'll be honest with you, there were times where I think, oh, what do people want to read?
Right.
Like
Right.
what's, and then the publishers, of course, like, well, this is what we think's trending. But the
Right.
problem with that is it's an external frame of reference, right? It's like, here's what's going on outside, and I'm going to mold it to the inside. Actually, the
Mm.
way that we create our best stuff has to come from the inside out. So when we're connected to the true self, when we go into moments of true stillness and connection, and I often say the word union, I mean, the word yoga means union, right? So in meditation and effective meditation, and what I teach in the practical enlightenment meditations, it's not just relaxing, right? Which is relaxing the five senses. It's
Mhm.
meant to move our energy from the peripheral nervous system into the central nervous system, into what yoga calls the Sushumna Nadi. Here's the best stuff, Dr. Taz. Here's the unlimited creativity. Here's the voice of the intuition saying, this passion, your unique gifts, like, here's the ideas right here. So we don't worry what's out here, how people are going to receive it. We focus on putting out our best energy. And when we do that, people will resonate because it's coming from that real, authentic heart place.